Hi team, good morning. Nilesh, Shilpa. Let's wait for 4 more minutes. We will start the class today.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ritesh. So, you can
Morning.
start recording. You can take a host as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, today will be the last session, guys. Ritesh, you can guide them how to approach our team or else how to pay.
Sure.
I will leave. Thank you.
Okay. Morning, everyone. Let's wait for 1 more minute. We will get started then.
Hi, Ritesh.
Hey, Shakil. Yeah, good.
Actually, yesterday I have activated the Microsoft account. No,
Mm-hmm.
I got today morning. I got a message that auto pay has been activated on my credit card for
Auto pay is
Microsoft.
automatically activated, right? If you are going
Ye-
beyond that $200, it will automatically deduct in the sense it will not deduct from the day one itself, right? You have 30 days of free credits. After that, whatever services you are using, if it works like a postpaid. It will not charge you from day one, day two. If you're using some services on a particular day, it will not charge you on daily basis. It will generate a bill on monthly basis, and after that, you will get some 8 or 9 days to pay that complete bill. It will send OTP. It will verify. Only once you, verify with that OTP, it will make that payment. Until and unless it won't make a payment.
Yeah,
So you're safe.
yeah. Okay, Ritesh.
Okay. I see people have joined. Okay, give me few seconds. The first thing which I would do is just a moment. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if there is some delay. Okay. I hope that you're able to see my screen. So I'll start with I'm in a small discussion only or small how you can enroll for this course for the one who wants to enroll, right? Today is the day 5, last free session for this Azure and Fabric. So I might have shown you yesterday, but just to a small recap that if you want to enroll for this, visit our KSR Data Vision website. You can directly mention KSR Data Vision from any browser, and you can visit this website, click on sign in option. So once you click on sign in, this window will be available. Now, if you're already logged in with your some personal email IDs, you can directly log in with that email ID and password which you have used. If you're new to this, you have this option called as sign up, right? So you can click on this sign up. You can mention few basic details like your name, some basic details like name, contact, and your email and the password, right? Once you sign up, you can directly come and log in with your personal email IDs. Even though I'm using this KSR email ID, you can use your personal email IDs to log into this KSR website, right? So once you sign up, you can log into our website. Once you log in, you will get, I mean, for you, it would be blank for most of you. If you're enrolling for the very first time, or if you have enrolled previously for some other courses, you might see some check boxes or some options available for you. So you need to go to this Explore Courses. It will open a new window. Inside this Explore Courses, paid sessions. Paid sessions, if you scroll down the last one, which is yellow and black in color, this icon. So here you can click and you can click on buy now. Right. So once you click on buy now, it will give you an option for the payment gateway. Now you have both options. Either you use this pay now and you can make a payment line. And if I try to click, it will open that Razor Pay payment option. Right. So it will open that Razor Pay payment gateway and you have all the options available here. Right. So whatever options would you like to go with, you can go with this. If you feel it is getting stuck somewhere, which doesn't happen, but rare case, if at all it is not getting succeeded, it is not proceeding. So the only option which is left out is you can contact our team. They will help you to manually make a payment either by UPI or some bank transfer. So even that helps, right? Even that, make sure that if you're making a payment, you send an email update. I mean, even team send an update. So once you make a payment within few minutes, you can go to your the login, right? So once you go to your login, if you make a payment, the payment is completed, you can go to my courses. In my courses, you will see list of courses which are available for you, right? So all the courses will be available. The course which we are going through is this one, right? Even though it's a free seminar, but post that, that yellow and black color icon will be available. So somehow you can go to this course and you can go to the class records, right? So today, anyways, you are exploring it from YouTube, you are exploring it from free login, or maybe you're directly joining it from your Zoom. But from tomorrow onwards, this is how you need to follow. Once that course is added to your bucket in my courses, you have to click on that course. Free preview is last, right? From tomorrow, paid preview. So everything would be merged. All these 5 sessions will also be merged with the paid preview. So once you go to that paid preview, also you can explore to this class records and you can see all the recordings here. So on what day, what topic was discussed by end of that session, or maybe once that session is completed, I'll mention that topic so that it is very easy to understand. Now, today session is live. So once this is completed, I'll mention what all we covered today. Right. So this is how you can explore. If you go to this lessons option, the options in the content, the options are very limited. The only option which is course browser, right? Browser, sorry. So the once you enroll for that paid sessions, you will be getting some sample resumes as well, which you can still go back and use it if you want to prepare your resume. There will be some additional data sets which will be shared with you. So that's an added advantage. A different part once you enroll for it. Right. So now coming back to what we discussed, let me go back. Let me sign out this. Now, once we are again back to the Azure portal, now inside this Azure portal, we kind of started with ADF, right? We kind of started with ADF. We kind of seen how a copy activity works, what all access mechanisms are available, right? The access mechanism which we have seen yesterday is the direct username or password or direct access key. For storage account, there is no username. There is direct an access key, right? If you mention that storage account name, there is already an access key present. Now let's try to explore some other options in the ADF. Let me open ADF, right? So we will follow that approach, which we have discussed, right? The hierarchy. We'll go to subscription. Now, if you're using your any ADF services or any services from your subscription, once you click on that subscription, you can always have a watch on this current cost. What is your current cost? How much amount has been deducted or how much amount has been charged for you until what we have discussed, right? Now, for you, you might have activated from yesterday only. So the charges would differ, right? So even though the billing is in dollars, but it will be auto converted to Indian rupees. So you can see the current cost is in Indian rupees, that rupee symbol, right? And once you click on that subscription, you have a few more options. Now, what all few more options are? In the overview tab itself, you can see in the below option, there is a spending rate. On which day, what were the charges? There is a forecast as well. Forecast doesn't mean that it will definitely go to 331. It is just a forecast that depending on your usage, it might go to 331 in few days or next few days, right? It is forecasting until 29th of June, next 4 days. This is just a forecast. If you're not using any services, this forecast will also come down. So current cost is what you have to always look at it. And next to that, there is a pie chart, right? We have already discussed what these charts are. This is your area chart, more a kind of line chart, but it is covering that area. It is area chart. We have this pie chart or donut chart rather. It is a donut chart. So for which service, what are the charges or what charges it has incurred, right? For which service I'm talking about. So KSR practice, I guess this is your SQL. Now, if you want to get additional analysis, you have to click on view details, right? So if you click on view details, that donut chart, it will give you some additional information. Scroll down. See, SQL databases is what? I already have one database which I've already created. That's the reason it is charging more. For whatever data factory yesterday we have discussed, it has only charged 1 Indian rupees. So you can assume that how cheap or how easy that ADF is. And storage account, right? We have only used one file accepted, but it is not even a single or even a 10 paisa as well. It's 0.02 paisa. So ADF, SQL, yes, it will definitely cost you, but it is not more than 450 or 500 per month. I've created two different SQLs. That's the reason it is 280. Rather, it's 140, 130 only. But I've created two different SQLs. So you can get some additional insights here. Maybe if you want to go back, you can go back here. So there are some other options as well, right? Top products by number of resources. Two databases, two storage accounts, one data factory, one server, one database server, one key vault. So all the services which you have created, it will give you all the insights. So you can daily explore this tab. So it will give you a better clarity that what all charges it has incurred on your usage. Make sure whatever services you trying to create, you follow that same process. If you're practicing Azure with a clean or ideal mindset, yes, it will be very good for you. If you're practicing in a very hurry mindset, right? Maybe you're busy with some other work or you're not concentrating on it. By chance, you have created a service or you might have missed selecting something, which will cost you a more charges. Please refrain doing it. If you are ideal, if you have a good time, you're not busy and you are physically and mentally both present, only then try working on this Azure portal because it's a paid service. So I would not want you people to get stuck somewhere or maybe select some wrong option. So this is just an alert, right? And I try to give this alert for next four or five more days, right? So that you are also aware. And access control, I mean, for every condition, for every hierarchy, you will get this access control, right? So subscription will go down to the resource group. Now, in which resource group we have this ADF? I guess this resource group. Oh no, this is a storage account. Which was the resource group? I guess this. Let me open this ADF. And so if I click on this also, Launch Studio, the ADF will be started. Right, we'll go to the author tab. And the pipeline which we discussed yesterday was this pipeline. Right, so whenever you try to create any data set, that data sets are also available here in the factory resources. If you scroll down, yesterday we might have created this data set, right? Destination. This was our destination data set, and we had this source data set. So you will get two separate files. Data set icon is different, pipeline icon is different. So if you want to explore what all options are available inside that data set, you can explore it here, additional. So, I mean, what is the link service? By which key it is connected to that source or destination data set? To which file it is getting connected, right? This is source, right? Destination, there isn't any file. Whatever is getting copied from the source, it will be copied to the destination. Now we have selected only one file, so this one file is getting copied, right? Now there are a few more options other. The other options are not that important, but I mean, you can see what all these options are. Ours is a CSV file, right? So that's the reason it's a comma delimiter, comma separated value, right? CSV is what? Comma separated value. And if at all you are selecting any Excel file or even in a CSV, you see there is this option called as use first row as header, right? This option we can, I mean, this option is also available in the Power Query editor. So if you're loading, if you're connecting any CSV or an Excel file, usually that first line is your column headers, right? The first row. Below that, the values will try popping in. So that first row will always be assumed as a header if you check box this. So there are a few additional options which are available. If you want to explore that, you can explore it once you open this dataset tab, and whatever data sets you have created, you can explore that options. And if you scroll down to this second option, right? Now you have a schema option in both the conditions. But in destination, there is nothing because, I mean, whatever file you are selecting from the source, complete file will be copied to the destination. Now I've selected only one file. So if you go to the schema option next to this connection, you can see the list of all the columns which are available from that electronic store. It has popped in. And what is the data type? See, don't go with the data type here. Sales is not a string value. Sales is a numeric value. But by default, it has selected string for every column. By default. And if I clear this, everything will go away. Everything will go away. And if I use import schema from that file, whatever file, or from that connection, so it will import all that columns again. It will take some time and it will read that data. Again, columns are come. So if you're rereading it, that means you're changing something. That's the reason these published two options are getting popped in, right? You have changed something in the source data set, and that source data set is anyway related to this pipeline. So even this pipeline will be updated. So for now, I'm not doing any changes. I've just shown you that you can use the schema option to check what all columns are present, right? I'll close this, right? I don't want to make any change. I'll close this, and even I'll close this. Close and discard changes. So what today we will explore is, yesterday we have seen from one storage account to different storage account. We will try to see from a SQL server to a storage account, how the data movement happens. Right. So along with that, we will explore one more activity called as delete activity. We have seen copy activity yesterday, but we'll also explore what is delete activity. So let me start creating a pipeline. One thing which I like to highlight is maybe I'll start with a small discussion which is related to delete, right? There is an activity called as delete, but this delete activity comes with certain limitations. I mean, that's how the delete activity works. You cannot call it as disadvantage, but more a kind of limitation. Now, what all that limitations are, let's try to understand, right? Let me first try creating a pipeline. Delete usage activity, right? And I've mentioned that name in the properties tab of that pipeline, and I will close this. Now, where is the delete activity, right? I mean, there are different groups which are made into for this activities, right? Every activity belongs to a certain category or a group. Now, if you want, you can search that delete as well. Delete belongs to general category. So let me drag this delete, right? Now you'll get that same options which are also getting from the copy. Almost all options are same. You have that name of that activity. You have description, whatever description if you want, but this is an optional condition. Activity state, whether it's an active or deactive. Same default timeout is 12, but I will restrict it to 10, right? I don't think it will run anything more than 10 minutes. Now, we will also explore what is this retry, right? What is this retry? There is this other additional option, right? Secure output, secure input. I mean, these are optional. I mean, these are not compulsory. Let me go to source. So if I click on new, right, I've clicked on new. If you explore this new data set, which it's very straightforward, right? If you're using a delete activity, this activity is used to delete something. Some file, some condition which you want to delete, it will be used to delete that. If you explore this, what all data sets are available. Now, delete means you need to connect to some data source, right? Some source where you want to delete some file. So if you see this, if you explore this data set for delete activity, if I scroll down, the options are very limited, right? Very limited options are coming. I mean, there is no SQL server. There is no SQL server available here. If you go to Azure as well, only 3. I mean, if you are in the everything which is part of Azure or file, all the options will be available here. All the options will be available here, and they are very limited, right? So if you see, there are only 6, 9, 12. 12 data sets which you can collect using delete. Not more than 12. Now, what is this? I mean, this is a limitation of delete. Delete only supports storage services. SQL is not a storage. I mean, SQL is where you create your relationships, where you create your tables. Everything is clean and structured there. It is not that you just create your SQL and you dump the data. No, that is not the right way, right? Whereas if you create any storage account or any storage service, you can dump any kind of data. There is no limitation for it, whether it's a clean, unclean, structured, unstructured, any kind of data can be dumped to the storage account. So delete only supports storage services. If you want to delete anything from your storage service, you can use this delete activity, but it doesn't support any other different data sources like your SQL. And if you see from, yesterday we have seen how do we connect Fabric with Azure. The only thing is you need to install a gateway. So you can have a cross connection. Similarly, if you want to connect Fabric with Azure, yes. So there is this option called as Microsoft Fabric Lakehouse files. If you want to connect your Fabric with Azure also, even that possible condition is there. But you can see only Lakehouse is available. There is no SQL server which you can connect, neither from your cloud nor from your Fabric. And there is this option called as Amazon S3, right? What is this S3? We have ADLS in Azure, which is our storage account, which we have explored yesterday. That same ADLS is in AWS, which is called as Amazon S3. It's your storage service. We have three services. That is the reason it is somewhere related to S3. Amazon S3 is equivalent to your storage account, which is available in Azure. In Amazon, it is called as S3, which is AWS, right? AWS, it is called as S3. In Azure, it is called as storage account or ADLS, data lake services. That's the only difference. The names are different, but it is one and the same. So you can only connect storage services. So let me connect Azure Blob Storage, right? Let me click, I want to connect to this data set, and it will ask me what should be the data set name. I can give any data set name, right? Now, this is our delete source data set. And let me connect. See, I'm already getting few link services which are available. You can go with already existing link services if you want, right? If you want to connect it with a new key, you want to separately create a new link service, you can go with that. But if you already know there are some link services which are connecting to the storage account, why can't we go with that, right? Why we need to create so many keys, different keys, different link services? It's confusing, right? So you can go with the already existing link service. Link service is what? It's just a key mechanism. It will give you all the credentials. It will store that credentials to access that particular data set. So let me see if I can connect with this Azure Blob Storage link service, which I already have. So if you want to verify whether what is this link service, once you select that already existing link service, you will get this edit or pencil icon, right? You can click on it. It will open that link service and you can see to which storage account it is connected and what is the mechanism they are using. They are using storage account key using this enter manual option. If you go with subscription, it will automatically get that key. Now, one thing which we are also going to explore today is using access key. Yes, you can mention that storage account access key directly here. But one thing which you can check is if I go back, if I open that storage account, let me open that storage account. Not this one. So this is the storage account which is connected here, right? Practice storage, practice KSR storage. So for this storage account, now where do you access that keys? You can go to security and networking tab and you can go to this access keys. Access keys are kept here. This option, you may be a complete admin to your portal now, but whenever you are added as an individual contributor to a specific service or a resource group or a subscription, access keys are not publicly available. This option is there, but if you click on this option, the keys will not be publicly available. This option will be grayed out. Everything will be grayed out. You cannot click on show to get the key. You cannot display that key. Neither you can see it. Because you are only added as a contributor, you can contribute to that storage account, but you cannot check anything like access key, some securities. Why? Because if any person can view this access key, it is a breach of information, right? Key is what? A secured information. So if you're breaching that information, it is not beneficial. So there is a mechanism in ADF or there is a mechanism in Azure which will help you what they can do is they cannot access this key directly. If they can access, they can mention that storage account key directly, which will work. Right? This, I guess this key is already mentioned here. Connection is successful. That means the key is correct here. But this key cannot be publicly shared, right? Some other person can come and view this key, or any developer can view this key, which is a security breach. So in order to avoid that, there is this option called as Azure Key Vault. Now, what is this Key Vault? This is an additional service which we are going to start with, right? We were discussing delete. From delete, we went to this Azure Key Vault. We went to the storage account key. Just in Azure, if we are discussing something, it is somewhere interrelated to each other. So don't get confused. We will be discussing delete only, but there is a access mechanism also. You cannot directly access any access, which is a security breach. So in order to avoid that, there is a mechanism called as Key Vault. Now, what is that Key Vault? It's a separate service which you can create in Azure code, right? We started with ADF, which is one service. We have created a storage account yesterday, which is second service. So the third service which we are going to create is our Key Vault, the third service. So how this Key Vault will work, let's try to explore, right? I'll go to the resource group. Under which resource group you want to create your Key Vault. So maybe I want to create here. Let me click on create. So I mean, either you can follow this or you can directly go to the global search and there you can search your keyword. So even that is correct. But I would always say follow hierarchy for a few days. And I can mention keyword. My keyword will automatically come. Now here, this is your keyword. Now, which keyword you would like to go with? The default one, which is a normal keyword, right? Let me click on create. Or maybe I can click on this icon, create. It's a separate service, right? So under which subscription, what is the resource group and what Key Vault name? Key Vault is what? Key Vault is nothing but your locker. In simple terms, what is Key Vault? It is your locker, right? You have your important keys, right? You are going out of your house, or maybe you are going on a vacation. So where do you keep that important keys? Either you take it with yourself, or you want to keep that keys secured. You use a locker, right? Usually people have that small lockers where you can keep all your confidential information. So Key Vault is nothing but a locker where you can keep all your confidential information. So let me first create this Key Vault. Now you can give a name, whatever name you want, right? I can give any specific name. KSR Key Vault. I don't think the name is available, but anyways, let's see. The name is already in use. Maybe I have to give it a different. June batch 2025. Right, the key is available. I mean, the name is available. Which region? You have options, right? Whatever region you want, you can select. South India or Central India. I can go with Central India as well. And the most important part, for every service, there will be something like pricing tier, or what condition would you like to use? For every service which you are practicing, use very bare minimum pricing tier or bare minimum usage option. Because we are not using any premium options. We are not connecting any premium data, right? Ours is a normal practice data for our practice, right? Go with pricing tiered standard default. Let me go to, there is this option called as soft delete here. What is soft delete? If this soft delete is enabled, I mean, it is same what we discussed yesterday, right? For the storage account. So if you're deleting anything from the storage account, it will stay for 7 days. Similarly, whatever information you're storing inside this locker, if you're deleting it, you want to back up that, right? You want to recall it. That data will not be automatically deleted or permanently deleted. It will be still available for 90 days in the backup, in the logs. Even though it is deleted with respect to you, but it will be available in the logs. You can recall or you can back up it. It will be available for 90 days. If you want to reduce this, you can reduce this also. It is up to us, but let's go with the default one. Let me go to next. Now, here there are two options: Azure role-based access and vault access policies. I'm not sure which option is the best one, but anyways, let's go with the default one. Let me click on next. I want to connect all the networks, enable public access, right? Let me click on next. Next. I mean, I don't think any options which I've selected. I'm going with all the default options only, mostly. And this is the review tab. Let me start creating this. Now, by the time this is getting created, what is this key vault is? I mean, once you get this key vault, you will have few options like keys, secrets. There are many options. Now, let this create. I guess this should be faster. Your deployment is complete. Let me click to. I mean, let me go to that specific service, keyword service. So in this keyword service, you're in the overview tab, pricing tier, everything, soft delete is enabled. You have to make sure you are not disabling it. Hard delete. If you keep that hard delete, whatever you will be deleting from this keyword, everything will be permanently deleted on that day itself. So make sure soft delete is available wherever and in whichever service you are using. And the most important part is this objects part here. This objects part. So you have keys option. You have secrets option. This operation is not allowed by RBAC. Now, why this is not allowed by RBAC? Anyways. So these three objects are most important parts of any keyword. So what we will be exploring is secrets option. We will store some secret here. Now, what is our secret? I want to store the storage account key. I don't want to share the storage account key directly, but I want to store it in a secret file. So what does the secret mean? If I go to the secret, you are getting an option called as generate or import. Let me click on generate and import. So what is the secret name? I want to store the storage account access key. So I want to give it a name. So storage account access key for what? Practice KSR storage. I mean, I can give a very big name or I can give any small name also, but I have given a very big name. And what is our secret value? Who will be creating this secret? Secret is created by admin people, or secret is created by lead engineers or architects who have full authority, who can view access keys also, right? One who has access to complete complete access keys, some usernames, passwords, everything, they can create this secret. So I'm working now as an architect or admin person or a lead person who's storing the secret. And then I'll again switch back to a developer or contributor position. Right now, what is the secret value? What is the secret value? We haven't seen that secret value, right? So let me open a duplicate tab of it. Let me go to Home tab. What is the secret, right? This is our storage account. This is our storage account, which we are seeing. And I want to store this storage account access keys as a secret value. Rather than directly giving this access key, I will store it in a one variable, which is a secret variable. This is our variable name. This variable will hold a secret value. What is our secret value? This is our secret value. This key is our secret value. So let me store that key here. Right, I've mentioned a key. Now, what should be your secret variable starting date and end date, right? You can store your secrets for a particular time period only if you want. If you want, you can store it for a particular time period. You can see set activation date, set expiry date. I mean, I want to save it for a longer duration. I don't want any activation or expiry date. I can click on create. Why this is an error? Oh, my bad. We have selected role-based access control. While creating this keyword, we have gone with this default option access control, role-based access control. Let's go with the second option, which is vault access policy. So what I've done, I'm going to the settings, access configuration, and I'm changing this. Sure whether it has really changed. Okay. The only option is, let me create a new keyword. Right, resource group, and I might have created it using RBAC, which is ideally wrong. Or maybe it is throwing an error, right? RBAC, I mean, these are all access mechanisms. There are different access mechanisms. RBAC is nowadays not directly supported. There are some additional requirements, right? So let me create a new keyword. Let's see if this name is still available. This is, even though we have deleted it, this is still not available. Fabric 2025. I'll slightly change this. It should be between 3 and 24. Okay, this is keyword June Fabric 2025. That's fine. Huh. The second option here, I have to go with this vault access policies. Why? Because the RBAC is not directly supported here. And vault access policies, if you are creating, who is the owner of this keyword? I am the owner. I have to select this, right? Either you select or either you not select even, but you have to see that whether you are a complete owner. Yes, I'm the complete owner who can change everything. Secret permission, certificate permission, key permission, I can change everything, right? So let me go to next. All other options are default. Next, next, and let me create this. So this should be created fast again. Done. Let me go to deployment. Now here, secret, right? We were trying to create a secret. Let me give it a name. Our secret is for practice ASR storage. Maybe ours is a blob, right? I can use a blob, something like, I mean, I'm giving a certain name. And what is our access key? This is our access key. Let me copy it to clipboard and let me copy it to this secret value, right? So this secret, the name of the secret is this. This variable will hold this complete secret, and let me try creating it. Right, secret is created. Done. So what I'll do, I'll go to my ADF. Here in the ADF, rather than directly mentioning that secret, I'll go to the Azure keyword. See, there are two options. Either you go to Azure keyword from the connection mechanism itself, or else you can go to below, where only secret is called. So whichever option is feasible for you, you can go with that. But first thing is, I'll mention the account name because I want to check whether which account I want to connect. So I'll not go with the first option. Connection string will be account name. Whereas the second option where I'll be mentioning the access key, there I'll go with this keyword. So what I'll do, I'll go to this linked service. For keyword also, you need to create a linked service because you are connecting to keyword separately, right? From ADF, you are connecting key vault. So how will you connect? Using some linked service, right? Using some linked service. So there is this linked service. Either if there is an already existing linked service, you can go with that, or else you can create a new linked service. But I don't think this linked service is beneficial because this linked service is connecting a different keyword. Ours is a different keyword. Ours is this Fabric 2025 keyword, and you can see this is connecting to a different keyword. So let me cancel this and let me create a new keyword or new linked service rather, which is connecting to a different keyword, right? So how would you create? Drop down new. This linked service is to connect a keyword. This is not to connect any source or destination because we are connecting a keyword. The most important part is whenever you are creating any secrets in your key vault and you want to access this secret in some other service. Key vault is a separate service, right? Separate resource. So you want to access this key vault in different service like ADF. So what you have to do is you have to go to this access control. Inside this access control, you can click on add a role assignment. And I want to make sure that this key vault is accessible in ADF. So how would you do that? I mean, you need to select some role, right? Whichever role is best fit for you. Let me see if this role is correct. I'll go to this access policy rather. Rather than access control, I'm going to the access policy because I want to access this key vault in ADF. And I'll go to access policy. Let me click on create. What I will create is I'll create a new access policy where I will mention that I want to select all the secrets which are available inside this key vault in the ADF. This secret should be available in the ADF. I don't want anything from the keys or certificates because we have only created a secret, right? So I want all the secrets which are created and I want to access this. This is optional. I want to access all the secrets. Let me go to next option. And here I will search the name of ADF where I want to access this key vault. Without access mechanism, you cannot access any key vault in the ADF. So what is our ADF name? This is our ADF. I want to access this key vault inside this ADF. So I'll mention the ADF. See, it will list down that the ADF. That means whatever you are doing now, it is creating a cross connection between your key vault and ADF, right? So let me click on this, click on next. An application has already been chosen as a principal. Next. What you have selected, all the secret management you have selected. So whatever secrets are there, every secret will be available inside this Azure Data Factory from the key vault. So it's a cross connection. Even though both are part of cloud, it's a cross connection. So you have selected everything. If you want to edit, you can edit it again. Maybe you want to access keys also, you want to access certificates, but as of now, I only want to access secrets which are available inside this keyboard. So I've already added that access policy that I want to access key vault inside this ADF. So let me go to this ADF and to which key vault you are connecting Azure key vault new. This is my new linked service name. Under this linked service, there is this subscription, and under this subscription, there is this key vault. This keyword which I've created, the newly created keyword. And let me see if this link service is getting connected to this keyword. Yes, let me create this. Now what I'll do is, if you are connecting to that keyword, you can access that secret. This is our secret. Rather than mentioning the access key, I have accessed that secret. This secret is a variable which will store our secret, which is our access key for that storage account. Rather than directly calling that access key, I have called this secret name, and this secret is getting stored. And you can see this is our latest secret. What is this? Is this a secret key or access key? No, this is only variable. This variable is storing this secret. You can see this is our secret, CE. But the secret is storing this value, secret value. We are not directly accessing this value. Rather, we are accessing a variable which is storing this secret value. So password or access key cannot be publicly shared. Yes, it is not publicly shared. It is shared via key vault secret, which is a variable. And if I test this, connection successful. That means it is connecting to that secret, which is a variable, and that variable is storing the value of the access key of that storage account. Right. And as I've said, delete only works on storage services. So let me save this. I've connected to what storage account using what mechanism? Not by direct access key, using a key vault, using a secret mechanism. That secrets are there, right? We have created a secret which will store a secret variable, and that variable will hold the access key of that storage account, which is the most secured method available as of now in Azure. Right? You cannot directly access any password, any access key. It is stored via a secret value, which is a variable. Any questions on this key vault or any questions on this secret which we discussed? This is our secret. And if you are added as a contributor, you can only see what all secrets are there. You cannot see secret value. Once you click on it, if you're added as a contributor, you can see this is the secret version, but you cannot see. You will not get this option called as show secret value if you're added as a contributor. Only if you're as an admin or architect, for that people, this value will be enabled. Normal developer, you cannot see that. You can only see, yes, there is a variable which is stored in, or maybe this variable will store access key of the storage account. That's the only thing which you can see or you can understand. Any questions on this key vault?
Yeah, that whatever the you shown that show view na, so that will be dynamic na, or it is a fixed
This
one.
show
This one.
secret value.
Yeah, it is fixed one or it will change na.
If at all the key is getting changed, let's suppose the storage account key is rotated. This key is changed. Now for 148 days, it is still same. But in future, if they want to rotate the key, what is rotate? Rotate means change of keys. Keys will be changed. Okay. So if you're rotating this value, what I can do is I can go back within that same secret, same variable. Current value is this. I can create a new version of a secret, right, with the latest value. So previous will be disabled, current will be the new one.
Okay.
So you have that option. If the keys are rotated within that same variable, you can create a new version which will store the latest value. Older version will be, you can set an expiry date for this older version, right? You can close this.
No. My question is, if that is the variable, so for someone, we are giving the variable as a key to log in or whatever it may be to view the data. So in that case, there is no high security now. Security wise, we will not get the security now. Can you please how it
what
will
security
be?
See, this key will be only available to people who want you want to share.
No, yes.
This is not enabled for every person. If a person wants, see, this key is not used to access from any, maybe you want to access the storage account. If you want to access this storage account, you will not be shared that secret. If you are accessing the storage from ADF, from a different service. So if you're not the owner of the storage account, but still you want to access it, you can access it via keyword.
Yeah, via keyword. Yeah, I'm telling. Yeah. So if in that case, if I share that anyone, they means anyone means any for any services only, it will be connected. Am I right?
Yeah.
Not the individual person. It is
Services
only for the services it will work.
Not for individual access.
Not the, okay, right. Got it. Thank you.
This is for only within the services, not for individual access. Any other questions with respect to this keyword?
Ritesh, After 148, that password will be changing, right? Set secret.
No. This, since last 148 days, it is not changed.
Okay.
From 27th of January 2025, it hasn't changed. So if you want to change this, there is this option called as a rotate key. Keys will be rotated.
So if we do that, and
Mhm.
we have created that Azure key vault,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
there also it will going to automatically change, or we should have
No,
to
no, we
manually.
should change. We should change. You should click on that variable or secret where the value is stored. Once you click on this variable, there is a version option, right? This is a current version which is storing the current value.
Okay.
Let me show you that. Let me go to this keyword. So if I want to rotate this key, I'll rotate it. The current key will be immediately invalid. So the key which we are using now, it will be invalid. Both the keys will be rotated. No, only one key because we have rotated the one. So the key is rotated now. If I go back, if I click on this linked service, and if I test it now, fail. Earlier it was succeeding, right? Why? Because we have rotated that thing. The key which we are using, it is expired now. So how would you make sure that key is available now inside this variable or inside the secret? You have to click on this. What you have to do is you have to click on new version. And inside this new version, you can mention the new secret value. See, the variable name is same, but secret value, whatever secret value you have updated, who is admin, who is architect, he will come down and he will change the secret, right? And he will create a new secret. So what is our new secret? This is our new secret. So let me create this. Older version is still available, but this is the current version. So what I'll do, I'll go back to the ADF again, and I can select the second version, the latest version. What is our latest version? Is this our latest version? Let me refresh this. I have to see, right, which is our latest version. This is our latest version, 7. 7, not C. C is our latest version. Older version, automatically it has changed that ID, right? Earlier it was CEB, but it has changed to 7.8. So you want to connect it to the latest version, you can connect it to the latest version. This one, CE. And if you test now, it is still failing. Let me see. Let me go back. I have to disable it now, right? So I have to set an expiry date. I can set expiry date 25th at 8. Maybe I'll expire it now only. Right? It is expired. The older version expired. Or else if you want to delete the older version, you can delete it, right? If you want to delete, but I guess everything will be deleted. So there is no option. You can set an expiry date. This is the current version. Let me see if this current version is having the correct value. KN. No, see, current version is not having the correct value. I've used that older value only, it seems. So the secret is not correctly created. Let me delete everything. I'll create that same secret again. Is it still available? My bad. I'll save the latest value. Let me create. I'm not sure if this still it's the latest value. Let me copy this, copy to clipboard and save this. Yeah, this is the correct one. See, make sure if you're copying that value, you copy it on a notepad so that you can verify it, whether it is correct, because sometimes we might get confused, right? Why there is an error? Okay. Just give me a few seconds. See, with that same name, it was not getting created because we have recently deleted it, right? And now it is created. So what I'll do, I will go back here. This is a new secret. And this is our latest version. Now, if I test it, it is working. Again, I'll go back and I'll rotate this key. Immediately, I'll rotate this key. Right. Now the key is rotated, but this secret is holding an older key. So what I'll do, I'll copy this new key, go to this secret. I'll create a new version. A new version will store that latest value. Is it correct? Let me verify. Again, recopy it to the board and let me upload this here. Right? Let me create this. So new version is this, which is current version, and older version was older version. Now, if I test it, it is getting failed, right? Anyways, this should be the current version, right? It is getting failed. So let me refresh this. Older version, new version. So set an expiry date for it because both are enabled, right? I have to disable it, the older version. So you have this option called as disabled. Apply. Right, this is done. Older version, you can disable it. This is current version. I'm not sure if this current version is still. Let me refresh it again. I'm going with latest version. Interesting. Operation returned invalid status forbidden. Why this is failed to get secret from the okay. It is unable to get that secret, it seems. This is our latest version. Yeah. Why is it so? Now, sometimes these issues happen because, as I've said yesterday, right, I've highlighted. If you're in cloud, something goes wrong. Some connections will not work. Some connections sometimes will throw an error. Hey, what happened, man? Please check the network settings. Interesting. The remote server returned an error. The remote server returned an error. There is something access mechanism because it is accessing the key, it is not getting that latest value. And if I try to generate this new key, let me see. New blob key. Copy this to clipboard. This is the option. Let me create this. This is getting succeeded. Why the older one? Oh, my bad. The thing is, I guess something is disabled here, right? Why this is disabled? Because both the versions are enabled. It is getting as disabled. Status is disabled. That's the reason it is not getting accessed here. Now something it has automatically disabled or some problem has happened. Anyways,
But
I'll get to that. Yeah,
but
go ahead,
thing
go ahead.
was, the variable is the same variable. It is
Yeah, it's the
connected to
same
the.
variable. It's the
That's
same
why
variable.
maybe it was in the
No, no.
middle.
It will take that latest version. You need not worry on that. I'll explain that. Why it is getting disabled, I have to go back and see. But that's not a big deal. I can go with that. Now, anyways, we were discussing delete, right? We are yet to touch that. Okay. Now we have used this secret version. Let me save this as of now. Now I want to delete something, right? Now, how you want to delete? Either you have to select something in the path. I'll not select anything in the path, right? Which file I want to delete. Let me click on OK only directly. Now here it is asking me, please note that you are not specifying any folder path, which you want to make sure you want to delete some file, right? So if I can open this data set, I can select any folder. Now let me select a folder. Which folder? This is our storage account. I'll go to container. Now what I want to delete? From this test container, I want to delete a particular file. So I'll go to this. So I'll only select test container. I'll not select any file. If you want to delete one file, you can select that file and you can delete that. Right. Now I'll come back. If you are in the activity, you have selected the folder in the data set, you are in the activity now, delete activity. Now there are a few options here. How this delete activity will work, it only supports storage account. It doesn't support any sources, any different sources. How this delete activity will work? Delete activity, there are few options here. Whichever file you have selected, you want to delete that file. Now, if you go to this logging settings, what is this logging? If you want to enable any log, which file have you deleted? Which file are you, or which folder are you trying to delete? For them, this log activity. Log means it will create a log and you can check which files you have deleted with this delete activity or delete pipeline. So I'm not enabling it, I'm disabling. See, it is default enabled. That's the reason it was asking me to connect to linked service. So wherever you want to connect anything, it will ask you to connect via linked service only via in the ADF. But I don't want any log. I'll go to the source. So what is this first option? File path in the dataset, whichever file you have selected. So I need to select a file. Maybe I want to delete a file called as employee separate. I have to select this file and I'll go back, whichever file I've selected, and if I debug this, let me run. Succeeded. I'll go back. I've selected training separate, right? I'll refresh this. Training separate or employee separate. Bye. That employee's file is deleted. You can see there is no employee's file. Now, what was the first option? The first option is whatever file you are selecting, that file will be deleted. Now there is the last option, which is list of files. What is this list of files? I want to delete all the files inside this test container. I want to delete all the files, complete. I'll use a star here. And let me debug it. See, I've moved out from file path to list of files. Let me see. Succeeded, right? It is succeeded, even though it is in progress, it is succeeded. Is it getting deleted? I've mentioned star, right? I've mentioned star. But the thing is, it is asking me to browse here. It is asking me to browse. So let me select this test container. Let me click on OK. See, list of files, and I've selected test container. I'm verifying how I can delete. Star means select star. I mean, in SQL, we have that select star, right? Let me see. Now it will work or not. Succeeded again. Nothing has been deleted, right? Nothing has been deleted. Now, what is this option? What this option is used for? Point to a text file that lists each file that you want to delete. So this option is where you need to create a file which will contain the names of files which you want to delete. The thing is, whichever file you are selecting in this file path, that means whatever file you have selected here, that file will be deleted. If I go with prefix option, if I go with wildcard file name, now what is this wildcard file name? Let me go with star here. I want to delete all the files, right? Which option is best fit? Let me see. If I run this, pipeline is getting succeeded. If at all it is getting failed, that means, okay, something is going wrong. Everything is getting succeeded, right? That's how the delete activity works most of the times. Still, this is succeeded. I'm not sure what file it has deleted, but still it is succeeded. Let me refresh this. Now everything has been deleted. That folder is there. That folder is there. Test container is there. But within that test container, all the files has been deleted. By which option? Wildcard file paths, where I've mentioned star. Star means everything within that folder, whichever folder you have selected the data set, right? This folder, even though it is pointing to this file, but it will not check the file. It will go to this folder and everything inside that folder will be deleted. The ideal behavior of a delete activity is it will, I mean, rarely it will throw an error. For all the conditions, it will work, it will succeed. But whether it is really working or not, you have to go back and see. Now, what is this option, right? The list of files is, it's a new update. New update in the sense, last 2 years back. There is this information icon. For all others, there is no information icon. So if you see here, point to a text file that lists each file that you want to delete. So what does this file or what does this option mean? You have to create a text file which you should dump inside this container, and that text file should have a list of files which you want to delete. Let's suppose I want to delete 3 files from that same container or same folder. I have to create a notepad or a text file. Within the text file, I have to mention that this file I want to delete. File name dot extension, file name dot extension. So it will read that folder and it will delete all the files which are mentioned inside that notepad or a text file which you're uploading. So this option is not recommended. The last option, for now, it is not recommended. How it will work? See, let's suppose you have a notepad or maybe you want to create. Let me show you that as well. So mention the files, all the files, what files I want to delete. Let me go to the storage account and let me see what all files I have. In which folder we have files. I have files, right? In this Olympic data, I have few files. Maybe not this Olympic data. So let me see some other data. I want to delete all the CSV files. So what I have to do, I have to create a text format file. I want to delete this file. I want to delete this file. And I want to delete medals. So let me save this. So where do I save it? I have to save it in my local system and then I have to upload this to the storage account. Only then it will work. Right. So let me save this. Files to delete. And it should be a text format, dot text. Done. Close this. I will click on upload and I want to upload that file, right? So it's a text file, .txt. So I'll again go back to the ADF. What is this option? List of files, right? I want to delete list of files. I'll click on it. I have to select that text file. Inside that container, which container? The container is changed, right? This is the container. I have to select this text file. And if I debug it, succeeded, right? Something it has succeeded. I'm trying to see whether it is really deleted. Right? Not working, right? The athletes, coaches, medals, I have to delete that. It hasn't. So you can click on this output condition and you can see. It hasn't, right? Point to text file that lists each file that you want to delete. I've listed, right? I've clearly listed. So this option is not that accurate. So if you want to delete anything, go with the file path, go with wildcard file path. And the third option is prefix. Now, what is this prefix? Prefix or suffix? You should understand that two words. Prefix means which starts with, suffix which ends with. So I want to delete a file which is ending with .csv. Even though it's a prefix, but wherever there is a CSV, I want to delete that file. Let me debug it. Let's see if it is working. It has failed, right? Now, for the very first time, it has failed. What prefix existed at same time? Invalid delete activity payload, folder name, file name. Okay, now the reason why is I have selected the CSV file, right? So let me remove this and let me run it. Let me see, because it should only point to a folder, but it is pointing to a different folder, right? Test container. It is pointing to a different folder, which is ideally wrong. It should point to a different folder. Let me go back. It should point to this Olympic data because it is unable to find that whatever we have done. Now let me rerun it. failed. So you need to see required blob is missing folder path, Olympic data set. Right? Whether we have really selected the right data set is what we have to see. It is missing something. So whenever you are working on any specific delete activity, you will incur all such errors. First two conditions are straightforward, easy to understand. The last two conditions, which is list of files. So you have to think on it, whether what condition you are selecting. Right? These two options are not that straightforward or easy to use. And these are not recommended also, because most of the people go with either a single file or either they want to delete everything from that folder, use this wildcard file path and mention that star, everything will be deleted. Now, the question here is, if it is getting failed, there is one more option, right? Here we are almost checking author tab only. What is the second option? If you go to this monitor option, it will list all your pipeline runs. So here there are two options. One is trigger and one is debug. Whether are you in the triggered mode, which is you are automatically running a pipeline if you're setting a schedule refresh, or else you are in the debug mode. We are in the debug mode. And it is giving me list of pipeline runs for last 24 hours. I want to check for last 7 days because yesterday's time is not getting calculated, right? Yesterday we might have run at 8:20, 8:30, 8:40. So if I mention last 7 days, yesterday's run is also mentioned here, copy usage. So this monitor activity is for monitoring how many pipelines has been running, how many pipelines succeeded, how many pipelines failed, whether it was a manual trigger, at what time it has run, at what time it has stopped running. So all the details are available inside this monitor tab. You can use some filter here, right? Your date filter. Or you want to only filter if there are thousands of pipelines which are listed. I only want to filter my own pipeline. You can search your own pipeline. As of now, there are only two pipelines which I am running or I've run. But if there are thousands of pipelines parallelly running, you can search your own pipeline and you can see what is their monitoring status. This monitor tab is for them. Right. So delete activity, it's an easy activity, not that complex, easy to understand. And most important part, an interview question. If it is asked in interview, where do you use this delete activity to delete files from storage services? Except any SQL, or else you can say only it works on storage services like ADLS, Amazon S3, your data lake houses in your Fabric. And the same mechanism is available inside Fabric. Now, if I go with Fabric option, let me show you in the Fabric comparison, right? Every day we will compare what we have learned in Azure. Similarly, it is available in Fabric or not, right? So let me go to workspace, which is Fabric workspace, which we have created yesterday, this one. Right, so we have one copy data process. Let me create a new pipe. Right, I'll scroll down. Where was that pipeline? Here, data pipeline. Delete process or delete activity, whatever you want. So if you're learning any activity, simultaneously practice it in Fabric also. It is easy to go. Right, let me click on activity and I'll go with delete. I'll go with source. See, the other options you can explore this. I'll go with source. Now here, if I select, see here, you can see only lake houses are available or storage accounts are available. And if I click on more also, if I want to connect whichever data sources are available, same way which we have in the Azure, in the Fabric also it will list down. See, it is only listing only these storage services. Even if I click on view mode, only storage services, nothing. Apart from storage, same way, same option, same similarity, you can find it here. Right, so you want to connect to one lake, or data lake, or you want to connect to whichever condition, right? Now you can see only data lakes are available, only storage services, right? So let me go back and discard this. And I want to use the lakehouse which I've created yesterday, right? What was that lakehouse name? Let me see. Destination lakehouse and source lakehouse. We have two, right? So I can go with this. Uh, Maybe I'll go with source lakehouse. And inside the source lakehouse, see here. Here there are only three options. You are not getting that prefix option. That prefix option is only available in Azure. The reason why am I not explaining in detail for that prefix? Because not recommended. There are few options which are not compulsory. Prefix. Even list of files is not correct. I mean, it is not appropriate. Here also there is a list of file, but it is not appropriate. So go with file path or go with wildcard file path. These are the most appropriate conditions. Right? So you can use that. You can select whatever lakehouse we have done, and inside this, whatever folder is there, or you can select that file name. It will delete that specific file. Right? Let me see. Let me show you and let me run this as well. Right? I want to delete this file. Straightforward, and I don't want any log settings to be enabled. Let me run this. And if you have to save and run, and it will run that, and it will delete that file. Done. So if you can go back to this workspace, and if you can go to the source lakehouse, there was a file yesterday which we have uploaded to this files option, which was our electronic store, and that file is deleted. There's no data here. One and the same. Now there is one more option, right? Our data is getting failed. Our this pipeline is getting failed. This specific pipeline is getting failed. In the general tab, sometimes what happens is there will be some network issues, connectivity issues. So our pipeline gets failed. So in that case, I want to make sure that that activity is running for the second time, third time. For that use case, there's this option called as retry and retry interval. Now, what is retry? Zero means only once that activity will run, which is the default state. But if I keep this retry to one, what? My bad. I have to search this. Anyways, I'll go back here. We have this existing pipeline also, right? Now, if this delete activity is getting failed, right? If this is getting failed, now what I'll do, let me add some data to the lakehouse and I'll show you how it will work, right? If that pipeline is getting failed. So I want to upload this car data and upload this. And let me also upload one more file, a random file, a different file. Right now, I'll go back to the pipeline. What I'll do, I'll use some different option, the other option, right? To the source, I'll go with list of files and I will select. Give me only 2 minutes. I'll let you know how this will work. Where is this delete activity gone now? Interesting, right? Where is the delete activity? This is your cloud. Whether it is really deleted or that activity is not available, it is not, I mean, where is it? Is it missing? There's nothing in the root folder. Let me browse that file. Right. And what I'll do, I'll go to the general. Maybe I'll first run this. Let's see if it is getting. File name cannot be what there is a file name. You've used, right? It is blank. Let's suppose I mentioned some random value to it. And I'll run this. See, this should fail because there is no NA folder and there is no that file, that specific file. Succeeded still. But if you go back, I mean, let's see whether that file is really deleted. And I'll go to the output. Here in the output, what is the input and what is the output? Something interesting, right? Wildcard file path, true, true, true. Whether that files are deleted or not, the files are still available. Random, right? This is how delete works. This is how delete works. It should have got failed, right? But it is succeeding. Because there is no folder called as NA. There is nothing called as this text condition. Let me mention this. Let's see if it is getting failed. Now for this condition, what I'll do, I'll go to the general tab. Here, there is this retry option. So default, it will anyways run once, but I'll keep one more retry. And after 15 seconds, that retry should start. Now, what is retry is if the activity is getting failed, it will try it for one more time. Seconds cannot be 15. It has to be between 30 and 8. I mean, it's 86,400. So minimum should be 30 seconds time gap. Okay, let's go with that. I'll run it. So if this pipeline, this delete activity is getting failed, it will rerun it for the second. Why? Because you have used that retry, and this retry is available for all the activities, not only delete. For every activity, this is available, but you have to set up what should be the second attempt, right? This activity is getting failed. So it will wait for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, it will retry it for one more time. See, still the pipeline is in progress. Even though it has failed, it is still in progress because we have used a retry option. Retry will work for a particular activity. See, that second activity started after a few seconds or 30 seconds gap. And this second activity will also fail. Now it will not run. It will be failed because we have only set up one retry. If I would have set two, it would have run for the third time. One is default, one is first retry, one is second retry. So that is how the retry works. And between each retry, there should be minimum 30 seconds, right? You can see here, number of seconds between each retry attempt. So it should be minimum 30 and maximum is 86,400. Seconds. It is not minutes, seconds. So this is how retry will work. right? So this is the same option is also available here. Our pipeline that delete activity is missing, or maybe it has got deleted, but anyways, it will work same. Any questions on this delete? Delete activity, yes, it's an important activity, even though it only supports storage account, but it is very important activity. If you want to delete a list of files, if you want to delete all the files without even accessing that storage account, you can delete. And the most important comparison, right? People dropped off, but the most important comparison, if you go to this fabric and if you go to your connections, your source, maybe you want to connect to your link, I mean, your data set, right? This is your data set. If I open this data set, right, it is opening in the different way, right? There is no data set option available, right? In this delete, there is no data set. You are directly creating whatever, you are connecting that data set directly. There is no access direct data set. So if there is no data set, there is no option called as key vault here. There is no key vault mechanism available in Fabric. It is only in Azure Cloud, not in Fabric. There is no secrets, there is no key vault like service available in Fabric, right? It is only in Azure Cloud. That is the reason whenever you create any storage, I mean your key vault, you use this access policy, which services you want to access it. I mean, you cannot access Fabric here, right? Because Fabric itself has no option for keyword. You cannot access Fabric. But if you want to access any other services like your ADF, or maybe you have services like Databricks Synapse, you can mention that service here, and that services will have access to this keyword. So benefit of using individual cloud, benefit of going with Fabric. Fabric doesn't have all the options which are available in cloud. Limited options. What is available, you have to go with that. Right? Any questions on what we covered? Delete, yes, it took some time, but our primary aim was to understand delete doesn't have all the options correct. We seen number of retries. We have seen what is key vault, what is secret, how do you access that secret. Now, within the same secret, if keys are rotating, I'll check that because it is automatically getting disabled, right? So I'll go back and check why is it the case, but it should be available, right? This is getting automatically disabled. This shouldn't be the right approach, but anyways, I'll go back and see. Any questions on what we discussed?
We are deleting the files from only blob storage data, like, no? If you want to delete from database, means is there any option?
Yeah, that for there is no delete activity. You have to use a SQL activity. You have a script activity, which you can write a script there and you can delete. We will go through that. I mean, if you go to this, there are multiple, right? Copy data, data flow, Synapse. Once we go through Synapse, Azure Data Explorer, it's a different service. But if you go to the general, inside this general, most of the activities are there. So there is this script activity. If I use this script, right? If I'm using this script, now this is very small, but let me make it big enough. So if I use the script activity, and if you go to this, you have to mention a linked service. So this script activity only supports SQL. See, if I click on new also, it is not connecting to this any storage account. It will only connect it to the SQL databases. So if you connect any specific database, right? Let's suppose I want to connect any specific database, you can write a query and you can delete it from SQL here. Even though you do not have direct access to that SQL, you can connect it via linked service, you can connect it via secrets, and you can delete a table inside that SQL. You can delete or you can create also. DML, DDL, everything can be done. We will go through the script. Any other questions? Whatever we have covered, I'm trying to mention it. Copy activity with storage account to storage account we have seen. We will see one more example tomorrow, which is from SQL to storage account or vice versa, which is storage account to SQL, both. Right? And delete activity, as I've said, it only supports storage connection, storage account connections. No other connections are available. So we will mention it in detail tomorrow once we discuss all other activities. But anyways, we have started with the activities. I'll mention activities. Any questions? Right. So go back, try to activate your portal, your Azure portals. Again, I'm trying to reiterate. I've shown you the difference. Every end of the day, I'll try to compare it with Fabric. Fabric is almost similar. The only thing is there are many limitations in Fabric. One of the limitations which we have seen here is not all options are available in delete, and the keyword option is nowhere in Fabric. It is only within cloud. Someone had a question. Go ahead.
Hello.
Nilesh.
Sir, as in Power Query Editor, we can see the data and we can decide the what operations or transformations we have to do to prepare that data according to the business requirements. So here, can we see the data and
Yes,
where
you
can
can.
we see that?
That is what I'm trying to say. We have only started with few activities. There are many activities which we have to explore. There is an activity called as lookup. There is an activity called as metadata, where you will get list of files. You will get data within that file. Power Query is only for certain set of transformations. This is for very bulk transformation. ADF can handle GBs, even TBs of data. Would you think Power Query will handle? No. Power Query cannot handle even small amount of GB also. 1 GB, 2 GB accepted, but if it's going past that, it will slow down. Power Query will fail.
Yeah, you have taught us the copy and delete activities, but we don't see yet the data on which
See, if you are confident enough only, that means you can delete. You cannot work on single columns. If you want to work on single columns, it has to be Power Query. If you want to work on a bulk data, it has to be ADF. That is the difference. Never ever compare directly with Power Query and ADF. There is a lot of difference. Yes, both are ETL tools. Power Query is for limited data usage, not for a bulk data usage.
then how can decide where to perform
Decide
the
is
delete?
not an option. If you only want to work on few data maybe you want to delete some columns. You can delete it using Power Query, which is straightforward. You want to delete a large chunk of data. You want to, transfer large chunk of data from one source to different source. You have to go with this.
Okay.
From the ADF point of view, how many sessions on ADF, right? You are very eager to get that. In that case, our sessions on ADF will be 15 to 16 out of 23 or 24 sessions, which we will have. Almost 15, 16 sessions will be on ADF or even more than that, but mostly 15, 16 sessions. Our primary aim is to work on ADF, right? Main aim is ADF. Along with ADF, yes, I'll be discussing some standalone services, right? We started with storage account. We started with Key Vault. We will discuss what is SQL database tomorrow. We will discuss what is access principle or, that app ID, app registration, even that we will discuss. Vaibhav, if you are learning ADF, why we need to learn Fabric? Either you learn Fabric or either you learn ADF, one and the same. End of the day, you will come to me that if I'm only teaching it in the ADF, you will ask me a question that why not Fabric? The reason why we are comparing both is to make sure that both are same, but many options are not available in Fabric. That is the reason we learn Azure. We start with Azure. Always I recommend to start with Azure and then compare it with Fabric. If you start with Fabric, damn sure you will not be able to understand what we are discussing now. Right? Fabric is developed for people who already know how the cloud works. It is not for people who are very new to this environment or new to the services. Any other questions? Again, I might have already informed you how do you enroll. If you are getting stuck somewhere, you are in a doubt, right? I have few more doubts. I want to get that doubts clarified. Please reach out to our team, visit our website, contact. They will definitely reach out to you. Right? If you still have any other questions, I'm anyways available for 5 more minutes. I can take up that.
Sir, when our groups are created and case or emails are provided,
Mhm. There
do
will be a
we?
group, WhatsApp group created. So will be, already a group is there, but anyways, you will be added to that group. For the email ID, yes, you will get that email ID within one day. Once you enroll, you will get an email ID on your personal email only, and automated email will be shared with you.
Okay, and do we create a Azure account on that mail?
Yes. On that email, with that email only, you can create an Azure account. Usually, Gmails are not supported in Azure account until and unless you are going with totally paid service. From the day one itself, you are going with paid service. Sometimes you can describe them that I am using my Gmail, it will work, but it will be for only paid accounts. You want to start with free credits or trials, you need to have that domain email. Any other
Can you
questions? Uh-huh.
tomorrow? Can you repeat the process of creating the
Yeah, I'll repeat
portal?
that. Yes,
Okay.
I'll repeat that.
Ritesh, this is regarding last time we have discussed report, banking report now. I
Uh-huh.
have some doubts regarding that. Can I discuss here? Can we
Okay, okay.
discuss here?
Just a moment. What I'll do, let me stop sharing and